Welcome to the Daily Vibecasting. We are here, loud and clear, ready to jump in with confidence and some brisk energy. We're giving you that quick, sharp, punchy overview of the biggest conversations buzzing on X right now. Our mission for this deep dive, simple. Cut through the noise, deliver those core insights without getting bogged down. We want to help you stay informed on everything from, groundbreaking tech, dynamic market shifts, to critical social trends. So let's just jump right into today's feed.
Okay, kicking things off in tech and innovation, fast-paced world there. We've got a post that, honestly, it grabs your attention immediately. Really pushes the boundaries. It's from @Elon Musk, and it just says, "Code with Grok." Short, sweet. And that image of a robot coding really just, hammers the point home.
Yeah, and what's really fascinating here is the context behind that simple statement from us. This isn't just like a random bold claim. It highlights Grok's reported ability to generate, get this, 100% of a coder's output, and this is drawing directly from Grum's firsthand experience, apparently.
100%. That
Yes.
sounds huge. It is. It represents a really significant leap beyond older models, like ChatGPT. It's powered by XAI's recent advancements in what they call reinforcement learning.
Okay.
Which is basically teaching AI through trial and error, kind of like how we learn skills, and real-time tool curation. That means Grok can actually use other software while it codes. These are massive steps, and they're documented in their Grok 4 release notes.
100% of a coder's output. It's still just an incredibly bold statement. But, okay, how does this fit into the bigger picture, AI transforming things?
Well, it connects directly to that broader trend of AI-driven automation, especially in software development. Remember that 2023 Stanford study? It found AI tools could boost developer productivity, sometimes up to 55% for repetitive tasks.
Right, I remember that.
And linking this bigger picture. It ties directly into Musk's, let's say, ambitious vision for Mars colonization. Think about it. Autonomous AI systems like Grok could dramatically streamline SpaceX's engineering, which is kind of underscored by their, impressive 2024 Starship orbital test milestone.
Okay, so what does this really mean for you listening right now? The real disruption here isn't just if AI can write code, it's Pelo. It's how fast this capability is being put into these huge real-world projects, like Mars colonization. It's pushing the boundaries of what we thought AI could do for our future.
All right, let's pivot from cutting-edge AI. Let's jump sharply into market moves, investment insights. Next post is from @Saylor, Michael Saylor. And it's direct, very punchy message for investors. Ignore the years. With the Bitcoin symbol, of course. Comes with this powerful image, too, a man facing down a bear in a forest. Quite the metaphor for market confidence.
Yeah, that's Saylor's signature style, isn't it? Using that striking metaphor. He's basically encouraging investors to just ignore any bearish market sentiment, turn a blind eye. And it aligns perfectly with his, unwavering advocacy for Bitcoin, especially after its recent dip, right? Down to $115,000 from a high of $125,000 just a couple of days back, August 18th.
And his posts always seem to land at a very specific time, don't they? There's always a timing element. Absolutely. This one coincided with MicroStrategy, the ticker's MSTR, trading near that $360 support level. So for some traders, that looked like a potential buying opportunity, which reflects Saylor's consistent strategy, right? Bolster Bitcoin holdings during dips. Now, studies do show endorsements like his can definitely sway market sentiment, give a short boost.
Sure.
But, long-term gains, they always come back to the fundamentals of the asset itself. It's a crucial distinction.
So for you, the lesson from Saylor's post is pretty powerful. It's a reminder, really, about that strong interplay between market sentiment, often fueled by influential figures, and the underlying realities of an asset. Always got to ask, does the hype match the fundamentals? Okay, moving to another key market development. This next one's from @Kobeissi Letter. Concise, impactful, reads, breaking. Palantir, PLTR, extends decline to over no-go 20% since August 13th. That breaking definitely gets your attention. Hints at something significant happening fast.
It really does. And this post highlights a major drop for Palantir Technologies stock, PLTR. Over 20% down since August 13th. That's a staggering $69 billion market value loss. Huge number. And the decline seems largely fueled by skepticism over its AI-driven valuation, especially after that Citron research report came out, comparing it pretty unfavorably to Databricks.
Wow, $69 billion. That's a massive drop, especially for an AI darling. But hang on, weren't Palantir's recent earnings actually pretty good? I thought I saw that.
That's exactly where it gets really interesting. And it's a critical counterpoint to the market narrative. See, despite this major sell-off, Palantir reported a robust Q2 2025 revenue growth, like 48% growth to $1 billion. That's up significantly from $678 million in Q2 2024.
48% growth, but the stock tanks.
Exactly. It suggests investors are currently focusing more on valuation metrics, like price-to-sales ratio, maybe overlooking that fundamental growth. And research does suggest short seller reports can sometimes amplify these market overreactions. Plus, this decline fits into a broader market trend, right? And inflated AI valuations. There was a Reuters report, August 19th, noting Databricks' $100 billion valuation with 15,000 clients, which really challenges the justification for Palantir's previous $412 billion valuation, given its smaller customer base.
So the lesson from Palantir's plunge is stark. In today's market, even really strong growth can get overshadowed by narrative and valuation concerns. For you, this is a prime example of why it's so crucial to look beyond just the headlines. You have to question the why behind the what in every market move. Okay, shifting slightly within finance. Next post. At Unusual Whales. They share a recommendation that, well, it really challenges some long-held investment wisdom. It says, Vanguard suggests a 70% pound and 30% stock portfolio for the next decade per BI.
Yeah, what's truly striking there is just how much that deviates from the classic 60-40 split. I mean, 60-40 has been a staple for decades, right? So Vanguard recommending 70% bonds, 30% stocks for the next decade. That's based on their own capital markets model. And it projects pretty modest stock returns like 3.3% to 5.3%. But slightly higher bond yields, around 4% to 5%.
So they're essentially saying bonds might be the safer, maybe stronger play than stocks going forward. That feels, yeah, counterintuitive to what a lot of people have been taught for years.
Exactly. And this shift, it aligns with recent economic trends. We've seen stretched stock valuations since, mid-April 2025. And the U.S. economy remains pretty resilient, growing above 2% this year. So it suggests maybe a strategic hedge against potential market corrections, a more conservative outlook. What's also fascinating, though, is the pushback on X. Lots of users aren't buying it.
Oh, really? What are they saying?
Well, many favor crypto, or much higher stock allocations, like Warren Buffett's famous 90-10 strategy. It really highlights a clear generational divide, maybe, where younger investors might be overlooking the historical role bonds play in reducing portfolio volatility. There was actually a big 30-year retirement study looking at adjusting Buffett's approach, showing bonds' value there.
So for you, this isn't just Vanguard changing some numbers in a model portfolio. It's a clear reflection of evolving market dynamics, shifting global economic conditions, and these differing philosophies on how best to navigate investment risks for the future. It really challenges us all to reconsider what traditional wisdom actually means in today's landscape. All right, let's move from markets to a critical social issue, one that really hits home, evokes immediate concern. This post from @Wall Street Apes tells a powerful, honestly unsettling story. It reads, American is paying $2,100 per month for health insurance. Her daughter almost drowns and has to use life flight. The bill is $70,000. Insurance first denies paying. After the denial, life flight reaches out to the insurance company. The insurance company agrees to pay. Yeah, my immediate reaction, just shock. And that familiar frustration many feel with insurance.
It really unpacks a truly grave issue within the U.S. health insurance system. It's stark. Here's this family diligently paying a huge amount, $2,100 monthly, for coverage, yet they still faced a staggering $70,000 bill for a life-saving flight. And okay, the insurance company eventually covered some of it,
Right.
but only $10,000, leaving the family with $60,000 out of pocket. It just shows how insurance doesn't always provide that full protection you expect.
$60,000. That's an astronomical amount to still owe after paying so much for insurance. It almost makes you wonder if having the insurance actually made it worse somehow.
And that's the surprising and, frankly, deeply troubling twist here. It highlights the problem. The life flight company apparently informed the family that if they had been self-pay, no insurance, they would have only been charged $20,000.
Wait, what?
Yeah. It means the family incurred an additional $40,000 cost because they had insurance involved. And broader data shows that out-of-pocket expenses, premiums, and services, they're rising faster than family incomes, which has major implications for healthcare access. Even touches on issues the Affordable Care Act aimed to fix, but, well, hasn't fully resolved.
So what does this all mean for you? This is just a stark illustration of the complexities, the potential pitfalls within our current healthcare system. Even for people who are doing everything right, paying diligently for insurance, it forces us to question the true value and often those hidden costs of coverage in America today. Okay, next up, a corporate story with a bit of a twist. This comes from @Leading Report. It states, breaking. Chairman of Bed Bath & Beyond announces they will not open any retail stores in California because of high taxes, high fees, and forced, unsustainable wages. That's a very definitive statement, right? Seems to lay all the blame squarely on California.
Indeed, the Post makes that claim quite clearly. But if you dive into the broader context, the historical data, it reveals a much more complex picture, actually. Bed Bath & Beyond has faced repeated bankruptcies. Remember, they filed significantly in 2023, with plans to close all stores. So the challenges run much deeper than just state-specific regulations.
Okay. So it's maybe less about California taxes specifically and more about the company's own underlying financial struggles.
Precisely. Forbes reported back in 2024 that the retailer's decline actually started way back in 2021, primarily due to losing customers over things like product substitutions and just failing to adapt to the changing retail world. They even had a huge loan, $240 million, that failed to prevent their collapse, which strongly suggests deep financial instability was the primary driver, not solely state policies. Plus, Marcus Lemonis, prominent business figure, he just stated yesterday on Business Wire that the new company, Beyond Inc., that's the post-bankruptcy relaunch, is actually focusing on online delivery in California, which really hints more at a strategic pivot towards e-commerce, not just a flat rejection of California's retail environment.
Right. So the key takeaway here is that sometimes those public statements from companies, they might not tell the whole story. For you, it's essential to look beyond just the headlines, examine that deeper financial and strategic context. That's how you truly understand the real reasons behind these big corporate decisions. All right, let's group our next two posts. They tackle the same hot topic, ignited immediate debate online. First, from @Posobiec, the person who made the original Cracker Barrel logo versus the person who removed it. And then a very succinct one from @End Wokeness, Cracker Barrel has fallen. Both of these immediately signal, strong, emotionally charged reactions to a brand change.
They absolutely do. That first post sets up a really clear contrast. You've got Dan Evans, who created the original 1977 logo to evoke that Southern nostalgia, versus the current CEO, Julie Fils-Massino, who replaced it in 2025 with a minimalist design. Now, this change, it's part of their All the More campaign and is driven by a strategy, they say, to appeal to younger demographics, especially amid declining sales. There was a 2024 Northeastern University study suggesting that while rebranding can work eventually, it takes years. And it almost always risks alienating those loyal, often nostalgia-driven customers.
And it certainly sounds like this one did exactly that. Reminds me of other recent brand controversies.
Oh, it sparked immediate strong backlash.
Yeah.
It mirrors this broader corporate trend of modernizing heritage brands, and people are drawing parallels to, say, the Bud Light controversy in 2023, which saw significant sales drops. You see on social media intense nostalgia-driven outrage. Critics on X linking the change to corporate wokeness.
Right, that term comes up a lot.
It does. But it's crucial to note there's no peer-reviewed evidence actually supporting that specific wokeness claim as the driver here. Cracker Barrel's own data showed a 15% sales dip in 2023. That was likely the primary motivation for the rebrand, business reasons rather than purely ideological ones. And Massino's also navigating a tricky history, given the company settled racial discrimination lawsuits back in 2004. So any brand evolution there is layered.
Okay, so what does this all mean for you? It's a really fascinating case study, isn't it? Brand identity, customer loyalty, and how companies try to adapt to new markets while navigating these really strong reactions and deeply ingrained cultural narratives highlights that fine line between innovation and, alienation. Moving now to a significant current event, we have a post from @MattVanSwol. Really emphasizes the urgency, the visual impact of a natural disaster, it reads. #breaking. New footage from the Outer Banks in North Carolina is showing flooding during low tide from Hurricane Erin. This is one of the most vulnerable communities for flooding from the hurricane. Please pray for North Carolina today.
Yeah, this post captures a really dramatic moment. Significant flooding in the Outer Banks from Hurricane Erin. It just vividly showcases the extreme vulnerability of these coastal communities to storm surges, even at low tide, which is striking. And this is a phenomenon we know is exacerbated by climate change. There was a 2023 study in Nature Communications directly linking climate change to increased hurricane intensity and frequency.
And what's the latest on Hurricane Erin itself? How severe is it?
Well, it's a powerful Category 2 storm currently, packing winds around 105 mile per hour. Governor Josh Stein has already declared a state of emergency, which really highlights the severity. There's potential for storm surges up to 4 feet, life-threatening waves. And that footage, vehicles trying to navigate flooded roads, it just underscores the immediate impact on infrastructure, on daily lives. And it aligns with these broader trends of increased coastal flooding risks from rising sea levels, which is a concern amplified by a 2025 NOAA report predicting an above-normal hurricane season this year.
So why this matters to you? It's just a stark reminder, isn't it? of the immediate and the long-term challenges faced by coastal communities everywhere in a changing climate. It shows how quickly extreme weather impacts lives, infrastructure. It's a call to understand that vulnerability.
Okay, next up, a more cryptic, politically charged post from @Loomer. It just says, Omska DEA is so hot tonight, major drama unfolding right now. That hot tea phrasing definitely hints at something significant happening behind the scenes, doesn't it?
Yeah, breaking down the context there, Laura Loomer's cryptic post likely hints at her, let's say, growing influence on Trump administration, which has been evidenced recently by some State Department visa policy shifts that she actively championed. It aligns with her pattern, right? Leveraging her very large X following over 1.2 million to try and shape political outcomes, often operating through social media activism.
And the timing of this post is interesting too, isn't it? It popped up around the same time as some major global news breaks. It did. The post came just hours after reports of a military escalation with Russia involving U.S. nuclear submarines. Now, this timing suggests her drama might tie into broader geopolitical tensions. Though it's really important to stress there's no direct evidence explicitly linking the two things. But a 2023 Pew Research study on social media influence did show that activists like Loomer can sometimes sway policy more effectively than traditional media, which supports her potential for outsized impact, despite any official White House denials about formal advisory roles. This post really highlights that opaque, yet potentially powerful nature of modern political influence, often playing out in real time via social media.
Right. So the takeaway for you is that this post is kind of a snapshot of how modern political influence operates, often through these cryptic messages, large online followings, sometimes intersecting with major global events in ways that aren't immediately clear to the public. It prompts us maybe to consider the hidden currents in today's political landscape. And finally, let's wrap up with some sharp social commentary and humor. This post is from @TheBabylonBee. The text reads, "Wife unaware that movie will answer all her questions if she just pays attention." And it comes with that image of a, quote, beaten down looking man. This one just instantly conveys that relatable, satirical scenario that many might find familiar.
Well, yeah. What's insightful here is how accurately it reflects a common social dynamic, doesn't it? It's that classic satirical take. One partner's constant questions during a movie, frustrating the other. The beaten-down look of the man might be exaggerating traditional gender roles for comedic effect, a trope studied in media psychology. And research notes that these kinds of exaggerated portrayals and satire can actually amplify cultural critiques, shine a light on everyday behaviors.
So it's definitely more than just a quick laugh then. It holds a mirror up to our lives in a way.
Exactly. And this aligns perfectly with the Babylon Bee's mission, right? Using humor for self-reflection. And also their noticeable shift towards critiquing aspects of modern culture, including some liberal viewpoints, which really picked up around 2020. The post taps into that broader cultural narrative of maybe male stoicism under pressure, a theme you see elsewhere. And here's an interesting, maybe ironic contrast that adds depth: the timing. This post coincided with global news about a deadly bus crash in Afghanistan reported just the day before, which subtly underscores the, relative triviality of the depicted domestic spat. And it can actually challenge the viewer, maybe subconsciously, to reflect on their own attention priorities, minor annoyances versus major tragedies.
So what does this tell us? Satire like this, it isn't just for laughs. It holds that mirror up to our everyday lives, our interactions, and it can even prompt deeper reflection on what truly commands our attention, urging us to consider the bigger picture beyond our immediate, sometimes trivial bubbles. And that is our daily vibe casting for today.
Whew! We've unpacked quite a bit, from groundbreaking AI, significant market shifts, to those very real struggles within healthcare, the complex battles over brand identity, and the subtle currents of political influence.
Yeah, and as we've seen today, that buzz on X, it really isn't just noise. It's often a reflection of deeper currents moving through technology, finance, and society. Each post is like a tiny window into these macro trends shaping our world. The real deep dive, though, as always, is what you take away from it all, how it sparks your own curiosity, how you connect these insights to your own understanding of the world around you. Absolutely well said. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive today. Keep exploring, keep questioning, keep connecting the dots, and we'll be back soon with more insights to help you make sense of the world one post at a time.